Good afternoon, iRacers, sim racing fans all around the world, and welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson, Lee Thompson here for the final round of Season 3 of the iRacing Grand Prix Series. And, well, this is the race that should decide the season, and, well, we can't bring you the championship standings right now because the stats are down on the web service, unfortunately. So, hopefully that gets resolved before the end of the race and we can let you guys know what's gone on, but it is pretty close up there. Daniel Wensin, Jamie Fluke, looking like they're going to take first and second, not sure what order. I think Wensin definitely has the advantage going into this one. It would take I think a DNF and an awesome result for Jamie, and but there's a few people sort of in that sort of third, fourth, fifth, sixth that are all very, very close, and it would have been good to see exactly how they panned out. So hopefully we can at least post some results on the chat after the race is finished. But there's a few faces in this one, Lee, that we were discussing off air that perhaps we haven't seen all season, but are definitely shown up because they've got some sort of intention here to make a run at the Pro Series, which of course is the qualifier to the 2017 World Championship Series.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who does end up running in that. You know, how many new faces are going to be? Who's been practicing maybe more in private with team members? Is it going to be a real mix of fresh faces? But yeah, time will tell. Looks like we are coming towards the end of most people's laps for qualifying. Jamie Fluke currently Daniel Wensing currently is in pole position by 3 tenths, and we'll see how many more laps anyone else has got to do.
Yeah, just having a quick look at the Suzuka circuit, obviously famous figure 8 circuit. Some awesome racing going on here in the past. Track conditions out there at the moment, I mean, clear skies, 22 degrees, very low wind. What's the track temp at the moment, Lee? That'd be useful to know. I mean, again, it looks like it could be quite hot, so we might be in the realms of the split strategies today.
So 45 degrees C, northerly winds 7k.
Yeah, so exactly that then. Could be very, very interesting to see what's going to go on there. So I think anything once we get above 40, then a stop can come in. So somebody has a little mistake or something like that earlier on, expect to see them jump in, get some fresh boots very, very quickly indeed.
Yeah, I really hope we do get that split strategy. So a couple of weeks ago when we were at Monza, that really added a big element to the race. It'd be great to see it all jumble up a little bit mid-race and see it all pans out at the end. Yeah, we shall see. And again, it would be good work for these guys coming into the Pro Series, having to do with that tyre strategy a bit more as well.
Just while we're just looking at some of the few drivers to set their laps, Domingo on screen right now. Been so kindly informed of the strength of field for today's race as well. 4,687, so pretty decent. A lot of points up for grabs.
And and if we were able to look at those championship stats, then we'd know that would be particularly important for anyone. But as we said, hopefully we'll be able to update that later on. Unfortunately, just that service is not functioning at the minute. So I'm just watching Daniel Wensing coming out of Casino Triangle, about to cross the finish line. Let's see if he improved his time. And 132.121 is still his best. I think he improved by maybe just a couple of hundred. So. And so, we are just waiting for these last minute and a half or so of qualifying, make sure everyone's laps are completed, and then we will confirm the starting order. We've got 20 runners in this session. Good strong field, as we said. It's going to be really good to see if there's any real differences between the times people are able to put in qualifying compared to race fuel. They've also got the ERS management to have to deal with as well. I'm having a mental block on the Marcus Jensen. That was who the other guy was at Monza, wasn't it? So no Marcus Jensen here in this session to challenge Daniel Wensing, as we saw 2 weeks ago at Monza.
No, so yeah, not sure where Marcus is, but I have seen him doing some practice. He was doing some practice with us in when we were getting ready for the World Championship race as well, and was right on pace. So yeah, would have been good to see him out there actually as well. Him and Jamie, not much between them. Marcus just had tiny little bit of an edge, so yeah, would have been those three would have been very very close indeed. So.
And
Um,
how was last week at Spa?
Spa. Yeah, the Spa was a good race last week. I'm just trying to wrap my brain to remember exactly what happened in that one. I don't think Daniel was there on that one, so Jamie led that from start to finish. The standout driver really was sort of Steve Michaels, who come from the back and got himself. I think he just missed out on a podium at the end, but very very strong. Zoran Jonic in there as well. Kevin. Ellis Jr. had a good race, just lost the position to Michaels on the line. Right, qualifying is done. Lee, would you do the honours and taking us through the grid?
Indeed, I will. So Daniel Wensing did keep that pole position with a 1:32.122, lining up alongside, and then the second is Jamie Fluke, 3.5 attempts down. Zoran Jonic in third with Ricardo Orozok in fourth. Will Tugurthe then in fifth with Vincenzo Amico in sixth. Fernando Guerrero in seventh. Paulo Labatti in 8th, Kevin Ellis Jr. 9th. 10th position is Manuel Domingo, with Russian Sabatov in 11th. Slava Yatsenko in 12th, with Fern Kern in 13th. Mark Warmington in 14th. Sebastian Floza in 15th. Klima Toffoli in 16th, with Anton Volodin in 17th. David Baker looked like he had a real tough time of qualifying. He's all the way down in 18th. Stephen Michaels is going to have to come back from the back of the grid again, like you said he did last week, if he wants a strong result, in 19th, and in 20th place is Bart Carney. So those are our last two runners. Stephen and Bright did not set a time.
That should be interesting to see how they do as they come through the field. Worth pointing out as well before we go green here that we're covering the Pro Series next season. And for all the drivers that want to take part, make sure you head over to our thread that will be put up for that Pro Series so that we can get all your driver team information filled in. Keep an eye out on the forum for that.
Okay, so revs are building for this final round at Suzuka. A little bit slow off the line for Daniel Wensing. Looks like Jamie Fluke has got the inside line already, and he's under pressure as well from Zoran. So yeah, poor start from Daniel, is just about going to hold on to that second place, sweeping around the outside. Jamie Fluke into first.
Yeah, awesome start from Jamie there. I thought for a moment Zoran was going to get him too. Good to see Zoran, obviously used to be with us in the Apex Academy, picked up a full-time drive as he's now in his Ryan Racing livery, so joined a WCS team, good friends of Marin Kolak, so great to see progression of drivers through our academy. We might have a moan, or they're in a different World Championship team, but that's what it's all about. It's all about driver development, so great to see him going to have a run at Pro.
Looks like Daniel Wensing was already pushing hard to try and put that pressure straight back on Jamie Fluke. He had a big wobble on the exit of Degner 1, and just about managed to hold it together as it was sneaking over.
Yeah, on board at the moment with Wensing as we head into the spoon curve. Fluke using all of the curb, as does Wensing. It's not so bad on the on this car. We run a little bit more ride height than we did the old Williams FW31, so you don't tend to get caught on that curb quite so much. And yeah, the drivers are able to use just a little bit more. So through 130R, and well, that's such a challenging corner in this this car as well. Does poor exit, and then a little wiggle coming off of chicane as well. Obviously, no DRS in effect right now. A little bit of slipstream. There's not an awful lot of draft that you get in this car, so I think Fluke will be able to hold on. But the top three breaking away already.
Yeah, they really are. Daniel Wensing deep into turn 1. Zoran's going to have a look around the inside. Daniel's wisely for the beginning of the race, gives him plenty of room. Just going to hang on to the inside for the start of the S's there. And Zoran has to tuck back in. But yeah, 2 mistakes already that we've seen in these 2 laps of Daniel Wensing. Seems like he's feeling the pressure to keep the pace up a little bit. And Jamie Fluke now's got a little bit of a buffer. Cars behind have made that one little group again.
Just take stock, see where we are for the first lap then. So Fluke from Wensing, Jonage, and then we've got Ricardo in 4th, Vincenzo in 5th, Fernando Guerrero obviously trying to get a good result as well, maintain his strong position in the championship, followed by Kevin Ellis Jr. Will Tregurtha dropped down a few places from his qualifying spot, Ruslan Sabatov in 8th, Slaven Yatsenko back in the car again for a second week. Definitely a driver who is worth keeping an eye on. Of course, I can't remember if he won season 2, but he was very, very close to it. If he didn't, but again, another one who's going to be strong. Domingo in 11th, Ferenc Kern is in 12th, Pelosa 13th, Mark Warmington is in 14th, and Antoine Vaudelin rounds out the top 15.
Yeah, good to see that all runners are still going as we come to the end of lap 2 here. All 20 runners still in the group. Daniel Wensing was under a little bit of pressure as they came out Spoon Curve from Zoran there, but they managed to hold on as they come back over the start-finish line of this historic circuit past the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, this is another one of those circuits that must never ever be taken off of the Formula One calendar. I think it's just the history here and the races that we've had in the past as well. So
I think now that we've obviously got Honda back in F1 properly as well, hopefully with them owning the Suzuka circuit, that will help secure the future for a little bit longer. But you're absolutely right. Places like Hockenheim, where they reduce to every 2 years, starting to head that way. We don't want to see it. Daniel Wensing now is gathering himself back together after maybe say a slightly scrappy first couple of laps, and has closed back on Jamie Fluke now, dragging Zoran and the cars behind with him a little bit. Good to see that we've got the top 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cars, all are really still in one sort of group, and they've not dropped straight back off leaders.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. And in the race yesterday in the World Championship, the pack was pretty huge for a long period of time, and mistakes were very, very costly. I know all about that, and the amount of places I lost with that little sort of spin that I had. Sort of good 8 places, 10 places, something like that. So it's going to be the same for the drivers here. There'll be as Amico goes wide at the final chicane. Guerrero will be close, maybe an opportunity for a run. He'll have the DRS, Amico will not. Just see if he can get through. I think he's just too far back. Indeed, he cannot make any kind of move at the moment. So go back on board with Wensing as he's closing in on Fluke. But yeah, I think what come out of the race from yesterday was that the drivers, you can start off really fast and tyres will go. So those drivers that may not have the pace early going but are holding on to their tyres a lot longer, as Fluke made a mistake through Degner 1, may well come back at some of these people in the sort of later on in the stints. So it's not only are we going to have a bit of a seesaw with perhaps strategies, but certainly as sort of tyre life goes as well.
Yeah, and it does make you wonder whether Daniel may be one of those ones that perhaps is going to struggle a little bit more towards the end of this stint with, say, maybe looking like he's been pushing a little bit harder in these few laps to get back that first place. Perhaps Zoran behind is being a little bit more patient, and maybe that's going to make a significant difference later on. But these front three again are just trying to build that gap again from Ricardo Orozco and in 4th place. And everyone for the moment, they've all got this sort of second or so gap, as they're all, as we saw in the WCS yesterday, in these DRS strings.
Yeah, not really any opportunities to overtake around Suzuka. It's always been a tough one to get past, and really turn 1 is the main opportunity, as Winston's very close, 0.2 of a second back, but still just a little bit too far to make that move. The key thing really, like I say, is that awesome, you need to get an absolutely fantastic run through the final chicane, so closing on the drivers down the back straight through 130R, nail the chicane and be within about 0.3 of a second to make the move happen. So if you can put the driver under a bit of pressure into that into the Casio triangle, then compromise their exit some way. It's another sort of strategy to help try and get a run on them.
And depending on the car, that Casino Triangle can be quite a clumsy chicane. How is it in the McLaren? Do you want to climb all over those curves on entry, or be a bit more of a? Yeah,
you're pretty safe to go over the curbs. Not really any issues with that. Of course, it's all dependent on car setup, and you catch the curb wrong, you can get a bit of pogo, but I would hope most of these drivers have been able to dial that out somewhat.
So yeah, Daniel is looking much closer on Jamie Fluke as they're heading towards 130R. Jamie stayed to the inside a little while just to cover off the space, but Daniel definitely isn't close enough to challenge for now. We'll see, just like you were talking about, Alex, what kind of run he gets through the chicane here. Oh, he misjudges a break and wipes out Jamie Fluke. Zoran gets caught up as well, trying to avoid. And Ricciardo is going to take the lead. Jamie Fluke is the first then to recover of those three, but what an error from Daniel Wensing. It appeared on first sight. I'm assuming Jamie didn't break a bit early by mistake, but that's really shaking up the field.
Yeah, well, that's going to... I think that's going to give us a pretty exciting race.
And Ricciardo also gets a bit overexcited, overshoots turn 1, sorry Alex, and he's side by side as they enter the S's with Vincenzo. Vincenzo hangs on around the outside of the first part, takes the inside, and a little bit of lag contact there, I'm afraid, from Vincenzo against Ricciardo. Vincenzo takes the lead, Ricciardo dropping back as he tries to recover. He's losing good 5 places there. He's back behind Jamie Fluke now. But yeah, all action in this lap.
Yeah, and Fluke went wide as well. Let's just see turn 1 off that. Let's just get a little replay of that back and just sort of see what went on there. Maybe we can go on board with Daniel. I think this might be after the incident. It is just after that. Let's go back a bit further. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell even from the onboard view whether or not Jamie braked early or Daniel braked late, but you know, the closure speed was just too much, and Daniel just could not get the car stopped in time. So I'm afraid you always have to put it on the driver that's behind. It's their duty to avoid. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Daniel will be a bit disappointed inside the car. Those guys have had a good season-long battle, and I think it's the first time they've come in contact with each other. So yeah, shame for that. But like I say, it's going to spice up the race for us.
Yeah, it certainly is. Jamie Fluke has gone past his teammate Will Tregerfer to move back up into 4th position as he tries to recover. So let's just clarify the top 10 and after big changes in this last lap or so. Vincenzo Amico currently leading in 1st position, just by a second or so to Fernando Guerrero. 3rd place then is Kevin Ellis Jr. What a start to the race for him. He qualified down in 9th position, so yeah, big improvement for him. Then Kevin Ellis in 3rd. Jamie Fluke, as I say, up to 4th place. Will Tregerfer in 5th. Ricardo Orozco in 6th with Russian Sabatov in 7th. Slava Yasenko in 8th. And then there's Daniel Wensing in 9th, trying to push hard for Degnasu to recover. And in 10th place is Zoran Jonic. So Jamie Fluke came off considerably better than the other two, but yeah, they've all work to do.
Yeah, Zoran and Daniel were sort of tied together a little bit, weren't they? And facing all sorts of the wrong ways. Zoran couldn't go forward because of Daniel, and Daniel was facing right into the traffic as well, majorly damaged front wing. So if he does pit, you have to think that they're going to do, well, after that spin at least as well, will just take a bit of life out of the tyre. He's going to have an extended pit stop, of course, so we look about an extra 6 seconds for a front wing change. Sometimes they get done about 5, but on average, so maybe an 8 or 9 second pit stop for Wensing. So that's going to put him straight back into this pack. He'll need to get through as much of this as possible and try and build a bit of a gap, but that pack right now is still very, very close to one another. I mean, look at that shot. We've got the leaders all the way down to about 15th place there in that one screen.
Yeah, and so again, it will make it very interesting to see who's been pushing their tyres in these first sort of 7 laps, who's going to already be planning to make a tyre stop, and how's that going to vary things as well. You've got to imagine that Daniel Wensing and Zoran, they've got to be going for no stop now, surely, to try and capitalise as much as possible on anyone that does dive into the pits.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. I think there's still going to be a few people that are going to do this with the pack as well, because some of them might be going a little bit slower.
Or pit very early, one of the two.
Yeah, exactly, get out of it. And we saw that in the World Championship as well. We had a couple of drivers that pitted particularly early, got a huge undercut. Peter Berryman comes to mind. If you watch that race, everybody was pretty much nose to tail when he pitted on like lap 20, which is about 4 laps earlier than some of the other guys out there, and was able to slingshot himself up about 6 or 7 places. So it was massively advantage for him right straight away. Of course, he has to hold on to his tyres, so that's the thing. If you pit early, you will have people coming back at you. But these shorter races, these Class A races, of course, only 35 laps, so not quite such a problem.
Yeah, and you really are getting this big concertina effect as they go through the final chicane there.
Warmington up, sorry, that's not Warmington, that's Anton Bodlin getting past Mark Warmington into the final chicane there as well. So Bodlin up to 13th, Mark down to 14th. Mark does a lot of streaming, runs on the Oculus, so if you...
car off at turn 1, sorry Alex, just spinning back round to recover. He's going to slot back towards the bottom of the top 15.
Looks like it was Ruslan Sabatov, indeed it was. So yeah, he'll join just ahead of that little pack that we were watching. Michael's not able to move forward as well as he has done in the previous round at Spa. Just that much harder to overtake here.
And again, as we saw from WCS, is really relying on the stake from the car ahead to enable to get a run on one of these faster sections of the circuit to maybe challenge, and that's what Jamie Fluke is going to be hoping for at the minute as he tries to recover. He's closest of anyone at the minute to moving forward, closing on Kevin Ellis Jr., but it's going to take a mistake for now. There's not a big enough difference in pace. And there is, Daniel Wensing, I just flicked to, running wide at Spoon Curve, cutting across the nose end of Zoran as he tries to recover. I was just about to say Daniel Wensing was looking like making a move on Slava there, but he overcooked it. He's going to be under pressure now from Zoran as they head toward 130R, but safe. But yeah, again, we're seeing a few mistakes maybe from Daniel this race, running wide again.
Yeah, he's got a bit of damage on that front wing, hasn't he? So it's probably just getting a bit of understeer, and of course, being tucked up behind Slavan, got dirty air as well. So just compounding his problems out there, really. And yeah, he's just needs to take stock for a few laps, just sort of figure out exactly what's going on with the car and gets up close and work out when's best to start to attack Yatsenko. Because as I said earlier, Yatsenko's no slouch, been very, very strong pace in previous seasons, and just getting back up to form with the car. And I think he doesn't make many mistakes, and like you said just a moment ago, really that's where opportunities come from drivers just making little errors.
So yeah, Vincenzo still just trying to build this little bit of a gap from Fernando Guerrero behind. He's got a little bit of breathing space, but then it's getting very, very tight now between second place and sixth place. They're all just a couple of tenths apart from each other, and then we've got a little bit of a gap then back to Slavas, who is back under pressure rather than Daniel Winston. So he's managed to recover that time as they head back into Spoon Curve from his mistake a lap ago, but nice and clean this time by.
Yeah, Amico obviously raced in yesterday's World Championship race as well. Just having a bit of fun in the Class A series. So we think he's got a fairly reasonable long life setup underneath him. Will it make 35 laps? No, I'm not sure in this weather, but we'll have to see. So he's in a good position to try that, opposite strategy and just try and throw the curveball out there, because he's got track position now. Anyone who pits behind him is going to be as far behind as they possibly could be. So. And
Daniel Wensing gets by on Slava there through turn 1. A bit like Slava on my screen got very, very close to the back of him on the approach into turn 2, but they both got away from it, and Zoran now is going to be trying to get by as quickly as possible, make sure he keeps his hooks in the back of Daniel Wensing and doesn't let him get away too much.
Yeah, good run out the final chicane for Wensing. Able to use the DRS to get the pass complete. We just see a replay of that on screen right now. And you're right, they were very, very close indeed. So, fortunate for both drivers, there wasn't further contact there.
So, we're looking at a 35 lap race here, Alex. If somebody is going to make a one stop, what sort of window are you thinking they're going to be coming in for?
Yeah, I would think anywhere from sort of lap 15 gives them a good opportunity to come in. They'll have substantially fresher tyres and get the undercut as well from anyone who wants to try and eke it out to maybe sort of lap 16, 17, that sort of traditional 50% distance.
Will Tregurtha getting very, very close to the back of Jamie Fluke when he approaches the chicane there. It looked like maybe he just put a wheel on the grass in the braking, but they both get away from it.
Yeah, this front pack actually is very, very close still. So Amico not able to pull away at all. Guerrero looks to me as if sort of Guerrero's holding in a little bit with the DRS, not able to really make any sort of grounds. Closes back up to inside that second every time using the DRS. So I think if we're going to see a move, I think it needs to really come from someone like Kevin Ellis Jr. To get up to Guerrero and maybe show his nose a couple of places, just see if he can't get Guerrero out of that DRS so that he can have a proper run going down into turn 1. Although saying that, Jamie Fluke looks very, very close to him right now as well.
And last time by at turn 1, turn 2, Zoran did get by Slava, so he's back on chasing Danny Wensing, but he's lost a couple of seconds in that lap getting by, so he's going to be hoping now Danny Wensing gets caught in the traffic a little bit so he can get back on his toe.
Yeah, 2 seconds behind actually at this point, so lapping easily quick enough to get back onto like the tail. So, but this really is a carbon copy of what we saw in yesterday's race. Really, some people towards the front not quite got the overall pace, and actually the pack just sort of bunches up and. Sorry to the Radicals guys that had such a great qualifier, but just didn't quite, self-confessed, they didn't quite have the pace in the race, weren't able to keep the tyres underneath them, and the change in temperature just sort of threw their balance out somewhat, as per their little race reports at the end. So thank you, Mogga, for that. Yeah, and it really bunched the pack up as people tried to make their way through them, and of course they then had the DRS of drivers around them as well, so we're able to maintain in that pack for quite some time. And we saw a huge pack there, and seeing exactly what we're seeing again now today.
And Jamie Fluke getting very, very close to the back of Kevin Ellis as they went through Dunlop Curve that time by. I wondered if he was going to try and shape up a rather ambitious move into Degner 1, but didn't quite get the run he wanted. In the background, Daniel Wensing trying to go around the outside at the hairpin of Ricciardo there, isn't it? Yeah, doesn't quite get the initial drive off the corner, but I think he's just about, yes, he has got that inside line. Ricciardo gives him space. Ricciardo will have the inside for Spoon, but looked like he maybe struggled a bit on the dust. Cuts across the front of Daniel Wensing, and Daniel probably is going to get a decent run as they head towards 130R. But yeah, very close there through there. Oh, Daniel Wensing has a big sideways moment, exiting Spoon, so it won't be happening for now.
Yeah, and half a second gain for Zoran Jonic behind as well, so quite that gap coming down quite quickly now.
Yeah, so still these top 5 cars still pretty much in the same position as they were. Vincenzo has just about got this little bit of breathing space into Fernando Guerrero in second, with Kevin Ellis still under a lot of pressure from Jamie Fluke. I feel like Will Tregurtha is just sitting there watching for now, trying to give his teammate a little bit of space and not get themselves tangled up, as almost a couple of laps ago. And already Daniel Wensing is right on the back of Ricciardo, and is going to be challenging, I think, later in this lap. Problem 4, where's Zoran gone? Zoran has dropped off my screen.
It's in the pits, so yeah, first person to jump for it as well. So there's a big pack ahead of him, of course. He's in the pits, he's going to get the undercut. He's got a slower car just come out in front of him. He won't want that at all. So bad timing for the he gets gifted with the play straight back, so not bad timing for the pits or anything and the crew there. So yeah, slam dunk. I mean, 4.5 second stop, so no issues whatsoever with repairing damage or new nose cones. So this is what Wenson's he's going to have to worry about, because if he pits now, he's going to come out behind Zoran, guaranteed. And right now on the new tyres, I think Zoran's guaranteed. Now, is he gonna? We'll have to keep an eye on his lap times, because he could well jump this entire pack depending on how long they stay out there.
Let's see if anybody reacts to him pitting. So we're all coming past pit entry now, top 6-7 cars, and Amico continues by, and Fernando Guerrero is in. Jamie Fluke is also in. as is Ricciardo, as is Daniel Wensing. So yeah, we've got 4 or 5 cars in pit lane.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute scramble. Where is Zoran as well? He's coming down the back straight, heading into 130R. So could he? He's only got 1 lap to have taken advantage. He wasn't held up at all. Let's see if he can get a place done. Who was the first person in? I think it was Fluke, wasn't it?
Fernando Guerrero, then Fluke. So yeah, they're both off in order. Ricciardo then is off next up. Where has Daniel Wensing gone? There he is. Sorry, he was hiding on my screen, hiding behind the pit wall.
Yeah, and he has lost a position to Yetsenko because of that wing change. 8.8 second stop, so cost him 4 seconds. He finds himself behind Yetsenko again. Ricciardo ahead of him once more, and Zoran well and truly back in front of him. So yeah, huge loss for him. Fluke now tucked up right behind Guerrero, so he will need to hope that Guerrero gets gets a wriggle on in this lap, because I would bet that the likes of Kevin Ellis Jr., Will Tregurtha, and maybe Amico are going to jump into the pits this lap. Although, if they want to do the throw the curveball strategy, that they'll stay out there. So who knows?
So yeah, we've got this end of a lap coming up now to find out who's going to work out.
Both those drivers in. Amico stays out, so maybe Vincenzo. Oh, hit from behind is Kevin Ellis Jr. there. I don't know if it had a bit of a tardy pit in, but unfortunately what that's going to mean for Tregurtha is he's going to have a long stop as well, because the pit crew will change his wing. So disastrous for him. Obviously you need to be as quick as you can in the pits, but you can't damage the car on the way in. So expect an 8-something odd second pit stop for him as they jack his car up, get that wing changed.
Fernando Guerrero and Jamie Fluke coming over the start-finish line now, so they are indeed going to jump all of those cars. We've got a good couple of seconds advantage.
And Fluke passed as well, made the move. So, gets a big old snap on through the second part of turn 1. Gives that position straight back to Fernando. Kevin Ellis Jr. joins in behind. Tregurtha actually got away with that somewhat. They didn't change his front wing, so it looked like it repaired itself from the damage. We sometimes see that with a little netcode tap. So got away, got fortunate with that. Just a 4.3 second stop, but has broke this pack up just ever so slightly. Zoran right back in the middle of it.
And so, yeah, it's just Amico with these front cars to go to see if he is going to take a pit on this lap. You'd think that if he was going to pit, going these 2 laps longer than some of the cars would have cost him significantly by now. So you wonder if maybe he's going to just push on. But yeah, he continues past pit entry again. So I wonder if Amico's going to be the odd one out.
Yeah, I think he's all in. He pitted extremely early in yesterday's WCS race as well. So if there's a driver who knows, what his car can do over the long run, get the most out of the tyres, he will know. So obviously confident in the Ferrari that he's in right now, that he can hold on to these, these soft Pirellis and make them last the race. Now, he's got Steve Michaels 11 seconds behind him. Michaels hasn't pitted either, so maybe that poor qualifier and not being able to get through the pack. He's another driver who's gone, well, all I can do is, throw the curveball out there and see where we can get as well. Sebastian Falosa, another driver as well. So the first to pit is still Fernando Guerrero with Fluke tucked up behind him.
And so last time by Vincenzo Amico, 136.350. Fernando Guerrero, a 135.5. So 8 tenths that lap. And what is their current gap? We're looking at a 27 second gap. So yeah, so a lot of work these one-stoppers have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
needs more than that.
I think if Fluke wants to win this race, I turned into Jonathan Ross or something like that there. If he wants to win this race, he will he'll have to get by Guerrero quickly, because I think he probably has got the pace to catch that gap up and get by. But Guerrero just looks like he's maybe about 3-4 tenths of a second slower than Fluke in clear air.
So yeah, all these one-stop big guys have got a lot of work to do. It feels like for them to make their way back up on Amico. It's going to take quite a big tyre drop off at this sort of rate, but it'll be interesting to see the differences in lap time this time by. So 36.1 for Amico. He was just a little bit quicker than the previous lap. Fernando Guerrero crosses the start-finish line now, and he gets a 1:35.5, so 6/10. So as you say, if Jamie wants to really close up, he's going to have to get straight by and really have a big improvement in lap time for what we've got left. 13, 14 laps, they've got to push on.
Definitely got an opportunity. Of course, he's second man in this train now, so that's always the driver who has the advantage or the best opportunity to get a move done, because Guerrero now hasn't got the DRS off of Amico ahead, so he's got every opportunity. Just needs to get himself into that position, a good exit off the final corner, and we hopefully can see a move very similar to what he did just a few laps ago.
And all of a sudden, Zoran is really right on the back of Will Tregurtha as well. So he has done significantly better than Daniel Wensing through this middle phase of the race, and he's got the opportunity maybe to really get on the back of this lead group, if you like. Jamie Fluke coming out of Spoon looked like he got a good initial run coming down this back straight here, but as you say, this DRS training operation, nothing happening for now for a goal.
Yeah, just 3/10 going into there. Needs a good chicane here. Looks pretty good from both drivers. No real issues getting on the power for Guerrero. Switch to Fluke. He is close. He is closing very quickly. DRS is open, and that is straight through. No problems whatsoever.
Initially, I felt like perhaps Fernando Vera lifted slightly, but just the difference and drive off the corner, and then a massive impact of the DRS curve. So next time by, then it's going to be interesting to see the difference in lap time. 1:35.4 this time for Jamie Fluke. Let's see what kind of improvement he can make as we get to the end of this lap.
Yeah, 26 seconds behind. On board with Kevin Ellis Jr. Obviously important for him to get past. He's got Will Tregurtha just tucked up behind him. Of course, we've seen him in a couple of races. He did some season 1 races as well, but a Ginetta Junior driver winning that championship in real life at the moment. And going to have as he gets a big sideways moment coming out of the hairpin, put himself under a bit of pressure from Zoran, but he's going to have a bit of fun in the winter when he's not racing for real. He's going to have a blast at the Pro Series.
And really getting up on that outside curve in the middle of Spoon there, just like you were talking about at the start of the race. I think you'd really have had the railroad effects in the old FW31 there, just getting caught up on the curve. So no such trouble now.
Yeah, goes wide. Should be able to rejoin. Can have a little bit of rubbish on his tyres for the entry, but still makes the apex perfectly. Zoran not able to get a run. He's going to be very, very close. Maybe the both drivers with DRS, maybe the slipstream will get him by. Who's got the most energy to be able to push the button? Looks like both of them with plenty in reserve. So
Jamie Fluke improved his previous lap time by 6-7 tenths of a second. So yeah, big difference in what they managed. But at the same time, Vincenzo Amico up front, he's still getting quicker every lap. 35.8 last time by. So 1 second difference between the two.
Yeah, Amico doing well then. That's kind of, he needs to push on now, really. He needs to 1 second a lap. We've got 15 laps to go. Fluke is 25 seconds behind. From that kind of calculation, you would think, well, he's home and dry. But as we have seen many, many times before, it's not necessarily what they're doing at this stage of the race. It's what it's going to be like in about 10 laps time. These tyres are going to fall off something crazy. We could see 1 second a lap slower on the lap times from Amico, where Jamie's barely lost any time whatsoever. And then really, when we're looking at 2 seconds a lap, the gap will come down very, very quickly indeed.
So let's have a quick run through the top 10 again then, as Amico crosses start-finish line to start lap 21. So yeah, Vincenzo Amico in first place. Good, comfortable gap at the minute of more than 10 seconds to Stephen Michaels then in second, who is running a little bit quicker at the minute than Amico, 9 tenths quicker last time by. Third position then is going to be Sebastian Filosa, who is the last of those no-stoppers at the front. Fourth place then Jamie Fluke, fifth Nando Guerrero, sixth Kevin Ellis Jr., seventh Will Tregurtha, and then very, very close then with Zoran then in eighth, Ricardo Orozco in ninth, and Daniel Wensing is rounding out the top 10. But that bunch now, we said about having all spread apart a little bit at the pit stops, it's all come right back together again.
Yep, just what we liked. I think, we want a good race. Ricardo very, very close to Zoran now. Maybe even thought about altering his line through the S's just to see if he could put Zoran on a little bit of pressure. But the damage of the DRS train right now for some of these drivers. The race is slipping away quickly because they are not lapping fast enough to get back to Amico here. So the likes of Zoran and Daniel that right in the middle of this race in this pack, seeing Fluke disappear up the road. One driver who has got the opportunity, and I don't think even if Jamie doesn't get to Amico, I don't think this race is over and done with as well, because Michaels is lapping fast enough to catch up and get to Amico as well. So Steve Michaels, of course, an ex-WCS driver himself, having a run at the Pro Series 2 next season, trying to get back into it for 2017. Very, very quick driver, had some really strong finishes and results, as we sort of covered last week at Spa. But yeah, definitely got an opportunity to win this race if he can close this gap down to Amico.
Looks like Filosa had a bad lap that time by. Jamie Fluke is now passed up into third place. So yeah, slow lap that time from Filosa, 1:37.6. So he must have had a problem somewhere. As I see Will Tregurtha through turn 2 running wide, just about holding on from Zoran as he enters the S's. And of course, you're saying about again Stephen Michaels coming from the back last week. That's exactly what he's done doing again this week. 19th from the grid, currently running second on the hunt for first place. Yeah,
he's done it all on strategy this time as well. So gained all of those. He picked up a few places earlier on, but didn't. I did have a look at the live timing and thought we hadn't moved quite as forward as much, but we had huge packs this time, and we just look at it now. Drivers are really struggling to move forward. Wensing been very quick and half a second quicker in the early going than most of these people, but when you're tucked up in the dirty air and the driver ahead's got the DRS, it's just so difficult to get the move done. But yeah, so Michaels, let's just take a quick look at the last lap time. There's only 0.2 of a second between Amico and Michaels that time by, so gap is down to 8.1, I think, as they cross the start-finish line. So gonna have to pick up the pace if he's gonna catch the Ferrari ahead of him.
Did you want to take us around an onboard lap with perhaps Will Tregurtha as he hunts down Kevin Ellis, Alex, so come start lap?
Yep, let's do exactly that. As we jump on board with Will then, as we're down the main straight. Doesn't look like he's quite got as much energy. There is some moves going on ahead as well.
Fernando Guerrero,
swing into so he's through. So we swing into turn 1, double apex sort of corner, which takes us into turn 2. Then we start through the S's, the left, the right, and then the left again, getting ready for this slightly tighter right-hander as everybody compromises the line through there so that they can get a good run through the Dunlop curve over the hill. Be careful of the bump that caught me out yesterday. Through Degner 1, careful not to run too wide. Degner 2, a little bit slower, a little bit tighter. Use the camber on the inside to help pull the car around. And then we head into the hairpin as well, where we've seen some great moves in the past on a little tap. I think
and behind as well, Alex, Zoran gets turned by Ricardo from that concertina effect that happened up front. Yeah, big problems for cars behind as well.
We're still on board, watching this battle sort of play out as well, as Tregurtha takes full advantage of Filosa being just a little bit wide, gets on the inside of the second part of the spoon curve, has a little twitch as he comes off that corner, applying the power. He's under a lot of pressure. We're staying on board. No, it doesn't look like Filosa's going to be able to get back through. So bad lap for Filosa, losing 3 places just on that lap. Heavy braking into the final chicane, using the curb on the inside and on the left for Tregurtha. No issues with getting on the power coming out of the final corner, and that's that done. And Kevin Ellis Jr. trying to break the draft as much as possible. He'll want to try and scamper away from Tregurtha right now.
Yeah, so an eventful lap to be on board there. So at the hairpin there, Kevin Ellis just got into the back slightly of Fernando Guerrero, which caused that initial concertina effect. And then behind, Zoran got turned by Ricardo, and Daniel Wensing had to take to the grass and the gravel as well to try and avoid him. Zoran and Daniel Wensing in particular, really struggling to match their qualifying pace with the events in the race.
Yeah, it's just the way it can play out sometimes, you know. You can be quick, but if things just don't quite go your way in the race, you get caught up in other people's battles. You're just losing time all over the place, and this is what's going. Those guys 28 seconds behind our race leader now with 11 laps to go. I mean, they have absolutely no chance, you would think, of getting back towards them.
Yeah, and so just an update on the difference of lap time between Anneko and Fluke, who we were looking at earlier on. It is becoming a greater gap between the two. 36.1 for Anneko last time by 34.7 for Jamie Fluke, so getting them for 1.5 second difference.
Yeah, and we see on the graphic as well, half a second difference between Amico and Michaels. So Michaels is closing that gap down quite considerably, as we see the sector times for Phil as well. And you have to feel that actually I think we're going to have a pretty great battle going into the final laps of this race between Michaels and Amico. Will Fluke get there? I don't know.
And so Ricardo and Daniel Wensing looking to shape up now on Filosa, who's really struggling in his older tyres. Almost into the back of Ricardo. There was Daniel Wensing. Ricardo runs wide. Filosa tries to avoid, almost collects Daniel Wensing as well. But Daniel somehow, maybe with a little bit of help of Netcode, manages to scrape by on the inside. But clean move initially into turn one, a little bit deep for Ricardo, and easily then could have got very messy.
Yeah, and Ricardo has no DRS from the car ahead now, so he's going to be under an awful lot of pressure from Wensing. You have to feel Wensing with that advantage should be able to get by. He's already done that move once, even with the traffic around him, so definite opportunity this lap, and Zoran behind will want to get that move completed on Filosa very quickly, otherwise Wensing's going to disappear up the road as well. To that effect, actually, maybe even thinking about a move into Spoon. Got a good run, but Filosa runs wide, gifts him that position, so doesn't need a second invitation. Does Zoran straight up and into 9th place now. Kugertha closing in on Kevin Ellis Jr. Has a little look into the final corner. It's all about the exit through this corner, and actually Kevin got a fantastic run out of there and leaps away to about 0.6 of a second, so 0.3 gain just in one corner. That's made sure that Will can't get the move done, and in the background we see Wensing putting that move on Ricardo, moving himself up to 7th place.
Yeah, that final chicane there can be so tricky at times getting the power on. There's a lot of turns still to do, exiting the chicane initially to the left, and then as the front straight starts to bend around to the right, when you're wanting to get hard on that power, it's very, very easy just to have that back step out, or just to feel that need to be hesitant because you didn't quite get the line right going through that chicane. But Jamie Fluke, looking like he's pretty consistent on his lap times at the minute, another 34.7 last time by. He's running a good half second or more quicker than Guerrero behind. Already Will Trigger has closed right back on Kevin Ellis Jr. He's going to be trying to shape up through Spoon for a clean exit. They kind of felt like he maybe dropped back from the exit of the hairpin significantly. So he's struggling.
Sorry Lee, accident that we're just sort of seeing the tail end of here. I think that was between Filosa and Yetsenko. So Filosa struggling with his tyres. Unfortunately, drivers just arriving a bit quickly as he has a big old slide just Filosa through Degner 2, and that definitely is the sign that the tyres are on their way out. I know all about that feeling. And then just very slow through the hairpin corner, and Yetsenko just sends him around, unfortunately, and the recovery from Filosa will do no good to his tyres whatsoever. They were cooked before, they're even worse now. So the driver who gained full advantage of that was Ferenc Kern. He moves himself up and into the top 10.
Vincenzo Monaco last time by Alex had an error of some description. He struggles in his older tyres. 1:37.4 last time by, so nearly 3 seconds slower than chasing Jamie Fluke in third, and second and a half slower than Stephen Michaels behind him in second. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether that incident he had on that lap is going to just spiral those tyres out of control now in these last few laps.
Going to jump it back a little bit and see if we can see where that error was, because depending on what happened, he could, like I say, he could have cooked his tyres for the rest of the race, so lap times are just going to drop very, very quickly. We just jump back a couple of minutes here just to see. So it doesn't look like it was around the hairpin or anything like that. Through Spoon, looks all good. So it must have been at the first part of the lap, I'm assuming. No real issues through here. Let's just see if it's an issue coming out of the final corner, because we know how treacherous that can be on worn out tyres. Fine through the 130R. Yeah, actually just missed his braking, that's all it was. So he's okay, it's not too bad. It won't have affected tyre life too much. Just went in a little bit deep and lost the time. Made sure he didn't get a slowdown penalty, but yeah, most importantly, he didn't lock up.
And following lap, he lost another half second into Stephen Michaels in second. And yeah, like you correctly said, Alex, Michaels is getting there closer and closer. 5 seconds is the gap now, with what is 6.5 laps or so to go. So that is going to be a bit tantalising as we come into these last laps. Behind then, it's pretty stalemate elsewhere. Will Tragerth is still looking pretty close to Kevin Ennis Jr. and everyone else in the top sort of 10 spots or so looking reasonably well spread out. A little battle further back between Anton Volodin and David Baker, who maybe isn't running quite as strong as we're used to seeing. David Baker looking to get a good run as they come up towards Dunlop Curve now, and then towards the Degners, just a couple of attempts between them.
Yeah, obviously Baker just had a little flirt with this car this season. Very much a Kia specialist. I'm sure he won't mind me doing that, but wants to have a little bit of fun in the F1 at the same time. And yeah, doing okay out there. I think pace-wise, you would hope for a little bit more, but you know, he's in a position where he can enjoy what he's doing, I think. So, sorry, look, I thought he was looking quite close as he went through the final chicane, but I tell you, Kevin has a much better final chicane on him, and every time he's able to pull away a few tenths of a second through there. So these drivers are going to have a bit of trouble on their hands very soon, as well as Daniel Wensin only 1.4 seconds behind them right now.
It almost feels like the difference that we see in real F1 between some of the Mercedes engines, cars ahead, and some of the Renault and Honda, and even to a lesser extent Ferrari cars behind, where it's so difficult to make the move when you just lose out just on acceleration coming out of these corners. And by the time that DRS kicks into effect, you've run out of road and you're at the next corner. Will Tragerth very messy through Degner 1 there, a little bit quick on entry. I think he maybe touched the grass on entry and scrambled all over the curb on exit, but gathered it back up before Degner 2. It's so easy to just put a slight foot wrong in Degner 1, and for that mean then you just can't get the car stopped with Degner 2.
Yeah, it didn't lose too much time, so he's still hot on the heels of Kevin. Kevin desperately trying to get back inside the DRS zone as well, so that he can better defend. So Fernando Guerrero ahead. He's 1 second behind exactly at this point as we go down the back straight. So I think he's just going to miss out. He has indeed 1.1 seconds, so he won't get it this lap, and that could be costly, because Tragerth maybe having a little look into the final corner. Kevin going wide. It's going to be a much better exit off of that final corner for Tragerth. We'll wait and see for him to open that DRS flap. It's going to go straight by, I would think. It's not slam dunk, but he's got enough pace in that car just to pull alongside, and yeah, straight through. I think what's important for Kevin now to do, he's going to come under pressure almost instantly from Daniel Wensin. He's going to have to stay tucked up behind Will and see if Will can perhaps pull Kevin back up to Guerrero ahead. Otherwise, he could slip back further place down this field to the charge in Daniel.
And Kevin Ellis having a big moment on the Dunlop curve. It looked very familiar from yesterday, I'm afraid, Alex, but he just about managed to gather it back up. Daniel Wensing straight through, but could have been a lot worse there for Kevin Ellis. I'm just watching it delayed now on the stream, but yeah, I think it's going to be just what we were talking about earlier on with the back just stepping out through Dunlop curve. Let me just have a look as I see it here. Just get to that crest, and in fact, he did touch all on the inside, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's maybe got a little bit of damage to his left front wing.
Yeah, and probably to suspension as well. Hit it hard, so didn't it didn't cost him quite so much time as he didn't spin, but yeah, I think he's got 2 seconds to Ricciardo behind, so depending on what the suspension's done, it might be okay. Right, where are we towards the front? 5 laps to go, a 1:37.1 for Amico, a 1:37.4 for Steve Michael. So yeah, 2 slow laps there. 1:35.1, so 2 seconds really on the front, on the leader. So yeah, we are going to be in for a thriller, I think. 7 seconds is Fluke's behind. Depending on how quickly he can get by Steve, is going to determine whether he's got a chance of winning this race.
And while we were watching those battles earlier on, previous lap, unfortunately, an instant subscription for David Baker, who we were just watching before, so he has now left the session, no longer run.
Yep, it's in the chat already, just saying whoops. So not quite sure what happened to David. Maybe he can tell us on the chat.
And already Jamie Fluke is right in the back of Stephen Michaels all of a sudden, so perhaps Stephen Michaels' tyres have just suddenly gone, because yeah, he is lapping significantly slower than even a lap and a half or so ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the time we get to the Farm Chicane Casino Triangle, if Jamie Fluke isn't all over the back of Stephen Michaels already by. He's got a great run coming through Spoon, and yeah, I think 1:30R, and then we could be right there.
This is what we were saying earlier on. It looked on paper when the drivers made the pit stop that actually these guys had no opportunity whatsoever to catch up, but now that the tyres...
struggling under braking, sorry Alex, Stephen Michaels almost overshot the chicane, had to almost come to a stop, and that means that Jamie Fluke just going to get that DRS activation point before he goes past, and it's going to be done before we get anywhere near the braking zone. But yeah, Stephen Michaels trying to hang on, but just those tyres would not complete the braking that was required. So Amico last time by 37.4, Jamie Fluke with that overtake 35.9. We're looking at a 5-second gap with 2.5-3 laps to go.
Yeah, Michaels could still hold on for a podium here. Fernando Guerrero still is lapping in the 35s as well, and it's 5.5 seconds back. So just needs to just calm it down a little bit, accept the fact that those front tyres are probably gone now, and just back the car up a little bit going into the corners and stop trying to push it. If he can lap in sort of like the high 36s, low 37s, might have an opportunity to hold on to this. It looks like some moves going on a bit further back. Sebastiano Filosa dropping down all the way to 16th place now, so that strategy has not worked out at all for him.
And again, it just maybe shows how sensitive these tyres can be to the way you drive the car. But compared to Vincenzo Amico and Stephen Michaels, he perhaps hasn't got the pace, but you took the same strategy. Maybe these guys at the front have got a little bit more of a touch to try and make these tyres last, and that's really the difference it can make. A couple of lockups here and there, different application of power, and those tyres can just, the temperatures can just go through the roof. So Vincenzo Amico coming onto the front straight again. Let's just see what lap time he got that time by.
Sorry Lee, I need to interrupt you. Problem for Steve Michaels as well. He's dropped down to 9th place. I think this is at Spoon issues for him. Turns in. What happens here? He's okay through... Oh no, just locked up, and I'm not sure what's gone on there. I think he might have a puncture, Lee.
Wow. Yeah, I can see on delayed on the stream, right rear puncture, I think, is it?
I think it's over that front right.
But yeah, car definitely looked unsettled.
It just sort of ploughed, yeah, I think it's front right looking at it, just dropped down on the front right. We rarely see them. Yeah, exactly, locks up again, that front right, so disaster for him. He's going to have to go into the pits. There's nothing he can do. We don't often see this, and what a shame. this is what Amico has got to worry about. So he's into the pits, is Steve,
Jamie,
but race just unfolds for him. But yeah.
And Jamie's all over the back of Amico already, Alex. So he's got a couple of laps now to shape up this move. But as they come into Spoon Curve, he's going to be within DRS range. And the difference in apex speed that they're able to take. Jamie Fluke is going to be by before they barely get out the corner. So Amico tries to cover it off, defends to the inside. Jamie Fluke hasn't quite got...
Unfortunately, what he needs to do is he needs to watch his tyres. He won't know. Hopefully he's got a teammate that's just said that Steve's tyres just gone bang, and that he needs to be a bit careful, because he could be in very much the same position and would lose this podium position.
So really decisive difference in how his tyres have behaved in the last 5-6 laps. They've suddenly just gone. So it's great how we're seeing this length of race, the tyres that we've got at the minute. How it's worth taking that risk depending on the circuit. Do you go no stop? Do you go one stop? And has recreated this difference in strategy. But we want to see. So Jamie Fluke scampering away. He's just got to hold it together now to take the race win. Amico now in second, and he has got what we're looking at, a 3-4 second gap then back to Fernando Guerrero, who is now in a podium spot in third. Ultragerth is still right there. He's struggling a little bit more with his connection the last lap as well, so hopefully that holds out for the next 5 minutes or so. He wants, he's got a sniff of his podium now as well, so he's going to be pushing hard to not only catch Amico, but maybe even make a move on Guerrero as well.
Yeah, he's going to need to do it, I think, very, very quickly. He's going to get it done. Daniel Wenson, unfortunately, out of this rate as well. Some issues for him. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. So all change here in the final round of the season. So we did say if this was a high enough strength of field, Fluke could hit Ricardo also as well. RS perhaps for the shoot into 130R is very, very close. He's got an opportunity. Let's just see where they are going into this one, and then we'll switch to Jamie to watch him cross the start-finish line.
Woodhouse a little bit wide on the exit 130R. That's perhaps scrapped his opportunity, but Fernando goes very, very defensive. That's going to compromise him on exit. Jamie Fluke crosses the line, but here comes Woodhouse. He's right up the gearbox, but that start-finish line is very soon. It's not going to be enough.
Yeah, he was fighting the car all the way around there. Couldn't quite get it done. One more lap was all he needed, but still a podium for him. Guerrero happy with that one as well. Zoran Jonic comes across in 4th place. Mr. Consistent Ferenc Kern himself comes across next. So good result for him. Kevin Ellis Jr. with the damage that he picked up. That's I'm not sure where that is because my timing screen's gone on, but yeah, he didn't drop down too far, but you will be disappointed with the damage that dropped him back. So yeah, 2 punctures in one race, one for Steve Michaels going into the Spoon, and then one for Amico there as well. So the driver's trying to push that no-stop strategy, 35 laps, and boom, 2 punches. We've seen it once before at Watkins Glen. Patrick Holzman in the chat saying he's never seen it. Well, it does happen. We've seen it here on Apex Racing TV. So now you know if you do come go in a little bit early, just be careful.
Yeah, I mean, what a sight to see in iRacing with those developments there at the end. Again, I've never really seen punches in the sim, but it's no bad thing. It's like real life. We've seen that in real F1. The guys push the tyres to the very limit, and sometimes you get the payoff, and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, so close, especially for Amico. He only had 2/3 of a lap more to hold on, and I think he missed out on the podium. The other guys behind were way too quick, but he at least would have completed the race. So yeah, what an eventful race, Alex. We had contact at the beginning, differences in strategy, tyres struggling at the end. Yeah, entertaining race.
Yeah, great race all round actually, and like I say, we like a few things like that. It's good to see that you can have punchers throw up and mix up in the race, and drivers push the tyre limits to the absolute max. They would have, as Jamie does a little donut to finish off the season with a win. Happy with that, and I don't mind looking at that. As in that sexy blue livery of the Apex Racing team. And but yeah, I think the drivers would have had the call probably 5-6 laps before the end that the tyres were done and they need to think about pitting, so they pushed them to the absolute limits. And on the hot tracks, it comes into play, and Suzuka really demanding on the front tyres. Like I said, the only other track we've seen that is Watkins Glen, and that was on maximum track temperature. So really, the wear was huge there. But yeah, just the Suzuka really pounding those fronts, and both drivers having a front puncher.
And of course, we've got iRacing update that's going to change how the dynamic track surface works coming up in just a couple of days. So it'll be interesting to see if any effect that's going to have on the guys in the Pro Series having maybe similar conundrums to deal with, and whether the tyres are going to cope better or worse for that.
Yeah, I guess there is no change to the actual car itself or the tyres. That's been confirmed. So, of course, yes, we do have the difference in the sort of the dynamic track. So, I think actually the guys should be pretty safe from that because they're going to have to do 100% race distances, so they're not going to need to push their tyres quite as much. I mean, these are 66% race distances. I was trying to go 66% on a set of softs. You know, you just wouldn't see any of the guys attempt that on in the real Grand Prix. So the tyre life is actually pretty good for what it is. It's just that strategically, it's best to try and eke it out if you can. But yeah, it's bit the true drivers today. Right, we've got a few people coming in for an interview, and I know this gentleman wanted to have one this week as it was final race of the season. So yeah, we're joined by Kevin Ellis Jr. Kevin, tell us about your race. You know, eventful, looked good to start off with. I think you picked up some damage, from right in saying, with the contact with the wall. I feel your pain. I did exactly the same thing, but I managed to keep out the wall. But yeah, where did you? Can't see the final classifications exactly right on my screen. So where did you finish up in that one first?
Well, I ended up sixth in the race. I think, to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed with some of the driving out there today. First of all, I was coming into pit road. I mean, the initial stint, the start was good. The first stint was good, and then coming into pit road, I think Will just misjudged the braking point and slammed me coming into pit road, which wrecked my rear wing. So car was loose throughout the entire stint, hence why I hit the wall coming up through Dunlop there near the end, and then Vincenzo says he blew a tyre and drove straight in at the side of me. So I thought I had P5 pretty much solidified for the finale of the season there, which is, I think, really where we deserved, but yeah, it just wasn't to be today, unfortunately.
Yeah, he did blow a tyre, and so did Steve Michaels as well. So both of the lads who tried to push it just that little bit too far ended up with the same result. So it doesn't happen very often, but yeah, that was the case. And I thought for a minute he was trying to defend, but actually he couldn't steer left at all. And I know you were on the outside of him while he was trying to go left, so he just ploughed straight into you. So yeah, just one of those unfortunate things. Good strong season for you though. You must be fairly happy with that. Looking forward to season 4 on the Pro Series.
Yeah, I'm really chuffed with this season. It's been a really solid season for us. After last season was pretty average at best. Had a few top fives here and there, and this season, this was only the third race this season where I've not been in the top 5. So yeah, I mean a big thanks to all the guys over in Downforce Racing. Today was my last race with those guys. So Eric Hag, Josh Matlock, big thanks to those guys, and yeah, really just looking forward to the Pro Series now. Got to give another big thanks as well to David Strudd and Wallace Green. Those two have been spotting for me all throughout the season, and keeping me cool during situations like what happened near the end there. They've kept me cool, kept me collected, and I think it's really proven that through what you guys have done and with the academy, and through what those guys have done for me on the outside as well, it's really shown in the results. So yeah, I'm really happy with this season. Chuffed to be out here. I think it's a top 5. I think I'm going to get in the championship. So yeah, really chuffed for that, and going to get my head down now and focus for the Pro Series.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to you in that one as well. And yeah, we can't unfortunately see the classifications at the moment because the stats appear to be down. So hopefully we can bring them as soon as they're back up. But yep, thanks, Kevin. All the best for the Pro Series. We'll be watching you here from Apex Racing TV, of course.
Yep. Cheers, boys. Take it easy.
We've got a whole little group of them, Lee. It's unusual. All season long we've been trying to get interviews in. So let's bring up the race leader next. Jamie, welcome to the booth. Congratulations, first up. I don't think that was exactly what you intended for today's race, but the end result still the same.
Yeah. There's many ways to win a race, and apparently that's one of them. I'll take it, though. I'll definitely take it.
When you pitted, obviously obviously you got the contact from behind and it sent you back in the pack. Let's just talk about that as well. Looked like you struggled to really make any moves. Looks like everybody was struggling today to make moves in the DRS chain, just the same as we saw yesterday.
Yeah, it was the exact same as yesterday. It wasn't for a lack of trying, but I realised maybe 2 laps into that position that, okay, I'm here now. Save the tyres and ARS. If there's an opportunity, okay, I'll go for it. If not, I'll pit early, try and jump out of the train, put in a few quick laps, and hopefully clear everyone. That didn't quite work as intended either, with Guerrero pitting whenever I was trying to pit, and I didn't have enough time to back out of it because I was up the inside of Kevin, who'd made a mistake in the final chicane. So I was like, okay, right, I'm going to have to commit to this now. Hopefully get Fernando pretty much coming out of the pits. I almost did, and then threw it off the road again. And then once I got past him, I sort of realised how far ahead 2 guys ahead were who hadn't stopped, and I realised, well, I don't think tires can physically last 35 laps around here, so I wasn't too worried. I wasn't going to try and overstretch myself to try and catch them. I knew that we'll come back to them at some point.
Yeah, and you managed to get by both of them actually before they had their punches as well. So both drivers had punches. Just so
both
the
punctures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so job done anyway, regardless to that. But like you say, yeah, you could have just been on absolute cruise control and still done it. So yeah, job well done. Good strong season. Obviously your main rival in the season, Daniel, finished down in 19th. I don't know if he improved points or not earlier on in the week. Like I say, stats are down at the moment, so we don't know. But hopefully this is a good strength of field. So maybe this might be a little bit closer than what you thought at the end for the championship.
Well, I was about 80, 90 points behind, and I have a drop of 170 something, and that was 269 points there today. So,
it's gonna be very close. It's gonna be very close.
I might get it, I might not, I don't know. But either way, it's been a very useful season for me to sort of get myself back into the swing of things after missing season 2. And Daniel's been a very worthy competitor as well throughout the season. So. If he's won it, then he's definitely deserved it this season. I'm not sure what all really happened today. I'm not going to comment too much on the actual initial contact that we had because I didn't see the replay. I haven't looked at it back, and I'm not going to judge unless I do. But it's a one-off thing.
Yeah, I said on the broadcast actually that you guys have had some really good racing all season long, and sometimes just tiny little things like this happen, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you guys have gone toe to toe all season long, really, and it's been a lot of fun to watch both of you race. You've had the advantage at some tracks, he's had the advantage at others. I hope personally that follows through into the Pro Series, so we can see some exciting races between you guys.
I hope so as well. I definitely hope so as well. And from what it worked out with qualifying, it was the same track temperature as what it was in the World Championship yesterday. And I think Daniel's time would have put him second row, maybe. Yeah. So he's clearly got an awful lot of pace, and he's improved an awful lot since I remember him back in season 1 when he was more or less doing his own thing and getting a feel for everything. And he wasn't quite as strong then as he is now. He's definitely. I'd like to see him personally as well in the World Championship next season because he's definitely capable of very strong results.
Anything else you want to add, Jamie, just before we let you go?
I just want to thank everyone who's involved in Apex and everyone who's been working very hard. I think I said this exact same thing last week.
I'm sure.
It applies again this week. A lot of good work was put into Suzuka with the WCS guys, and I've done my bits and pieces with that as well. And there's been a lot of good progress made with the setup and how the car feels over the last 6 to 8 weeks, definitely. So it's definitely moving in the right direction, and it bodes very well for the Pro Series. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, I've just got a quick one for Jamie as well. Hi, Jamie. Obviously, you're running BSR as well, having a strong season there. 2 different cars you couldn't find on service, going from front-wheel drive tin top Kia to the most powerful rear-wheel drive car that we have on the service. How are you finding racing to a competitive level and having to swap between these 2 extremes of cars, mate?
Well, the touring car racing, a lot of that's actually just getting very comfortable with the car and then just being able to race it well. With the F1 car, it's really more about extracting ultimate pace out of it. I wouldn't say I'm actually the quickest Kia driver by any means. I just tend to stay out of trouble more often than not. But they're definitely very, very different cars to drive. But as long as you can very easily separate, it's okay. I'm driving the Kia now, and it's sort of clear that okay, you need to adapt how you approach everything. From braking points, turning points, getting back to throttle. If you're chopping and changing between the two as much as I do, it sort of becomes second nature eventually. So I think I'm managing it quite well.
Well, it certainly seems to be working for you so far. So yeah, good luck as I head into Pro Series next season.
Thank you very much.
All right, who shall we bring up next? Let's bring up friends. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the commentary box here at Apex Racing TV. First time we've had you in the box, friends. Congrats on today's results. As I said in the comms just at the end there as well, been very, very consistent season for you. Stayed out of trouble today. Missed a few of the accidents that were going on around you and picked up a good, strong result.
Yeah, first of all, hello to all. Nice to be here. Yes, it was kind of funny at the end because my whole race, the whole week wasn't too good because I felt really slow here. So I thought for the race, just be patient, be cautious, and do a clean race, which was my plan, and it worked. So at the end, I had to smile a bit where I saw everyone's off, and I picked up the places.
Yeah, let's just confirm where you finished in this race as well, because unfortunately the overlay doesn't always play nice with the final result. So can you just confirm where you finished in the result?
I finished fifth.
Yep, yeah, exactly what I thought. It's just showing 16th on screen, so let's just confirm that. We said strong result and things like that, and it's saying 16th. So yeah, 5th place, and we saw you obviously pick up the places. Was I think it was the hairpin incident with Falosa and Yatsenko. You almost got collected in that, but you just managed to avoid them. Did you take a knock there?
Nothing. I saw that will happen. I was sure it will happen, so I already gone a bit wide to avoid them, and then I saw him Slava hit him, and then I just decided to go over the grass to go wide, and that was only one off track, nothing more, and had a few corners or half a lap problems with my dirty tires.
And it's worth pointing out that you probably had one of the quickest pit stops of the day as well, 3.4 seconds. Everybody else in the 4 seconds. So yeah, job well done there. What you paying your pit crew with?
I think beer. Beer is the best.
I have to confess, I didn't update the data sheet, so it's not got your team name on the overlay. So let's give a big shout out to all the guys at your team, and yeah, do all the goodness.
Yeah, it's Reactive Sim Racing, my own team with one guy, Marcus Drexel, who was also racing in the IGPS in Split 2, but today I think he's surfing on the lake. I don't know. Yeah, we started only last year in December, so a small new team.
And do you do anything else, or is it just the F1
Yeah,
at the moment?
we do mostly F1 and the HPD. We're trying. We signed up for Neo. We hope to get into Neo, and we're let's say specialized, or we're focusing on downforce cars, open wheelers, and HPD. So it's the prototype, and if you want the Renault and the F1 car.
Awesome stuff. Got anything for Ensley before we let him go?
No, not particularly. Yeah, just going to say good, strong result. Certainly in a couple of races I've seen, it looks consistent. It looks clean. So I presume you're planning on running the Pro Series next season as well, right?
Yeah, of course I'm planning to run there. I hope to get into top split. I don't know how high the SOFs will be. I think I have a lack of pace to be really for the running for top 15 or top 10 in the series, but I'm not sure if I run consistent. Maybe like today I can pick up some places, but for sure I will run because it's 100% distance, which I like, and it will be nice to see how competitive I am.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. So yeah, good luck next season, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the broadcasts.
Thank you.
Right, up next we've got Anton Vodelin. Good afternoon, sir. And,
Hello.
Yeah, from Vortex Racing, of course. How did the race go? Please again, because our overlay screen is not showing the right results. Just confirm where you finished in the race, and just tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so I finished P10 in the end. I qualified something like 18th. I had not a really good lap. I was could have done 15th, but locked up in the last chicane. I decided not to do one more lap. So I went with this qualifying. The start was pretty good. And then we went like a train. Everybody pitted very, very early, like lap 14, I guess. I pitted lap 15 and tried to survive. I was about maybe P14 the last laps, but everybody crashed. Some guys didn't know stopper, which is, in my opinion, crazy at Suzuka because the tires will blow up, as we saw today. So I finished 10th. Actually, I hit the wall second to last lap, but somehow took half of my front wing, but the car wasn't all that much damaged for some reason. I don't know, strange damage model.
Yeah, I think you had a damage wing a bit earlier on. Did you have an incident? I'm just trying to remember exactly. Did you have a coming together or something like that a bit earlier on? Just remember seeing your car with damage as well.
Well, I didn't have any 4x or 0x contacts, so it must have been like a screen lag or something. I didn't have any contact lag until lap 34, so it should be fine.
You've been obviously doing a little bit this season as well. Your teammate has been in here as well in some of these races. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now, so I do apologise for that. But he's been featuring well. Maybe you can jog my memory of his name.
Sure. Balish Remenek. He's doing really nice compared to me. It comes down to practice. I'm a really lazy man, so I did about 40 laps of practice this weekend. Before that, he does hundreds of laps. So obviously my pace isn't as good, but the car is really strong.
Yeah, it does make a big difference. So, are you guys both going for pro? Of course, we know that you've got Michael Dinkel. I like to consider him as a very close friend of mine in the service. We've exchanged lots of great races in the past and continue to do so. He needs some help with some teammates. So, you gonna try and join him there?
Of course, yeah, the plan for now is to go for pro. Realistically, I don't think I'll be able to get it. If I'll see at some point of the season that I'm not getting a pro license, I'll just put my effort to supporting my teammates, being the crew engineer, sporter, whatever they need. So that's the plan for now.
Awesome stuff. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Obviously, I want to thank my team, Gecko Vortex Sim Racing, our sponsors, Joel Real Timing, Logical and Gecko, and a great thanks to Michael Dinkel for the setup of the car. It's amazing. He did a really nice job in WTS, and the car performing just amazing at this track. Thanks to him a lot.
Thank you very much, and good luck, and hope you guys do well in the Pro Series.
Thank you, Alex. Goodbye.
Cheers. Might as well go through them all, Lee. Here's Mark Warmington. Welcome, Mark, as he scrambles with his buttons and his microphone. Over to you, Lee. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, so congratulations then, Mark, on 11th place finish. How was it from your side as again you scrabble with your microphone?
Oh, that was, I remembered not to mute this time, and then I muted it when you called me. That was hard work. My tyres in the first stint were horrible. I looked at the temp and it was high, but I thought it'll still be fine. Kept it clean first stint. It was really hard in the DRS train. And then everyone just started passing, and I lost the DRS as soon as they went past. And all I could think was, come on, lap 14. I need lap 14. And then in the second stint, tyres were much better because obviously like a car, but it meant the higher pressures kept them in the grip range I like throughout the stint. And then everyone just started falling off the track. A couple of people I figured must have had wing damage or light on fuel. And then I just kept seeing people in the pits a lap down, and I hear that people tried the one stop, crazy, no stop I should say, and blew their tyres. So finishing 11th is much more than I needed. The craziest thing is yesterday I was saying I need 126 points or more to break the 1,000 point barrier, and I believe I got 127. So I'm happy.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's my ramble done.
Yeah, well, congratulations for reaching your target. It looked like you certainly had a clean race from an incident point of view as well. Just one incident recorded on my screen, so lowest of anyone in the field. As you found, that's key to strong results, isn't it? Keeping your nose clean and staying on track.
Yeah, especially around here. I found around here, if if you get an incident, something's about to go wrong because the track's slippery enough as it is, and you've got all that dirt offline. So yeah, and it's got that technical rhythm that you need for it. So luckily for me, I spent all week getting comfortable, and I've managed to stay in the zone the last 2 days. So the last 4 races in this car probably been my best races. And Suzuka normally hates me. So yeah, it was important to just, if people put the aggressive move on, let them do it, because locking up here is just painful. It comes back to haunt you. You can't overheat the tires at all.
Sound advice, I think. Anyone that you wanted to quickly give a shout out to before we move on?
One, I'm going to say to Franz Kern, if he whinges again about him not having the pace midweek, I will find him, hunt him down and slap him. And secondly, you guys, A, for putting on the broadcast all season, but also very much for the Apex Academy, a great bunch of guys working through there. It's been amazing to learn a lot more about the car, about racecraft. It's probably my strongest season, so really looking forward to next season. And last but not least, my team and Race World TV Network, our YouTube affiliate partner. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
And
Thanks,
thank you.
Mark.
Cheers, Alex.
He throws his mic across the desk as well. Like,
Yeah.
boom. Right, let's bring up the last gentleman for an interview if he wants one. Welcome to the booth, Zoran.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Hi, mate. Well, pretty much like Jamie and Daniel, that race probably didn't go quite to plan, or not the one that you thought. But so just tell us a little bit. Obviously, got a good start. By the way, we did mention on obviously the air that you moved up to Orion Racing, so congratulations on that as well. Good job. And obviously on the broadcast right now, it does say Apex Racing Academy. We'll get that changed for the Pro Series, but I just wanted to thank you for the kind words that you put on the forum, and wish you all the best in the new adventure. But talk us about the first incident first, because obviously you had a perfect view of what went on those on the opening. What was it, about lap 4 or 5 when those guys made contact?
Yeah, race started well. Daniel had, I think, not that good start. I tried to squeeze in, but I just backed off for safety. And I was trying to follow Daniel and Jamie. I just needed to be in front of Fernando for P3 in championship. And coming to that last chicane, I saw them spun and I tried to avoid them, and I picked the wrong way. I moved to the left side and stuck near Daniel and waiting him to continue. So in this race, probably everything gone wrong for me, but in the end, I got many position gifted to finish on P4, but that wasn't enough. I think for P3 in championship, I don't know, did I improve or something? We're gonna check when stats go back to normal.
Yeah, keeping everybody in suspense a little bit there. I think it could all change. So, I mean, you looked pretty much all of you guys as well. Once you got back in the pack, it just looked like you were not able to really move forward. The DRS trains here were just on another level to what we've seen all season long.
Yeah, like yesterday, like Mogur's train, if I remember good. It's probably impossible to pass if someone has DRS in front of you, but after that incident with Ricardo, I think I got my car damaged. I just moved in turn 1 for Daniel to pass, and later I don't know what happened. My car started to work again, but I tried to close on Ricardo, but I think my tires were dead by that time, so it was impossible to move. And in the end, as I said, I was surprised that I'm gaining, and I'm not doing anything to gain positions. So P4 in the end, I'm just sad because Fernando finished in front of me, but that's racing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has had a strong season long. We haven't seen him in a lot of the strength of field races, right up the top, but he's capitalized on all the other split races, which of course go on through the week. So something for some of the drivers that might want to give this championship a shot. It's not always about the big SOFs. You can score really well in some of the other split races too.
I think he did the most races out of anyone in probably top 10, and he's really nice guy. He's just sent me a private message to say thank you for everything, and that was a good battle for P3. He's a really nice guy and also fair driver, and I enjoyed racing him.
Well, hopefully we can see the battles continue in the Pro Series for you. So should be should be an exciting one.
As I said in forum, thank you for everything. Now I moved to Orion, and that stuff on forum is all true. Thank you, Alex, in personal, and I think see you in Pro Series, right? I hope so. I hope to maybe catch that last positions, grab that license.
Yeah, it'll be good to see you on the grid. Thanks very much, Soran, for everything. And yeah, like I said earlier, we wish you all the best for the Pro Series and with Orion.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Right, Lee. We had a mammoth one there. I mean, you know, like I said, we probably had about 3 interviews all season up until that point.
Well, they're just maybe warming themselves up a little bit for the interviews that they really should be doing when they get to the Pro Series. So yeah, good to hear different people's thoughts and different qualities of microphone as well. So yeah, it'd be good to see all those guys and see how they get on fighting through for next season.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining me here as well. Like I say, I can't unfortunately bring up the stats, the final results, because they're down at the moment, but it does look like it's going to be very, very close, and good to know that the actual race results are working on my overlay now as well, just as they go across on the screen. So yeah, massive change in those last few laps. That's no changes to the tyre model. Of course, we are 100% distances in the Pro Series. Myself, Adam Barth, Andrew Woodhouse will be in the booth for the majority of those as well. So yeah, tune in. The first round starts, I want to say 4th or 5th of November. I can't remember. I haven't got my calendar in front of me.
Yeah,
but
you told me it was 5th.
But yeah, so that's at Interlagos. So join in. Those will be on the Saturday at around the same time as this one started to air as well. So it's been a pleasure to cover it all season. Pleasure to work with everybody that's been in the booth, yourself especially, Lee, for covering at the end. Much appreciated. And yeah, to everybody who's tuned in, liked, and gave a lot of comments and positive reviews. We appreciate it big time here. And yeah, we'll see you next season.